Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know that I am a big advocate for nuclear families, meaning biological mother, biological father raising their children underneath the same roof. Big advocate of that, and I still am. That's not going to change. But I will tell you this. This particular story gives me pause because of the fact that you have a mother and a father. And I'm going to tell you guys, what you're going to hear is gut-wrenching. That is your forewarning. So if you can't handle that, I understand. I'm going to have some opinions that aren't going to sit well with your sensibilities. But I'm going to tell you what these children go through should be in no comparison to the things that I say about these criminals, that what they do to these kids. And let me let you guys understand something. This involves not a 9-year-old baby, not a 9-month-old baby, not a 9-week-old baby. This story involves a 9-day-old baby. 9 days. Brand new. How do we get here? This story comes out of Louisville, Kentucky, and a couple was charged with child abuse after their 9-day-old baby was found Monday with multiple broken bones. That's according to the police. Brent Bishop, also known as Michael Bishop, which is that idiot on the left-hand side, looking like a Sideshow Bob wannabe, and the mother, whose name, that is not a typo, her name is Amanda Yif, or If. I don't know how you pronounce it. YFF. I've never seen a last name like that. But she's 26 years old, and Brent is 30 years old, and they were arrested Monday morning at their home on Canterbury Court, and each charged with complicity to first-degree child abuse per online court records. The Louisville Metro Police Patrol, hold on, let me read that again. The Louisville Metro Police Patrol officers contacted department's Crimes Against Children unit early Monday, that is a mouthful, regarding a newborn child with a broken arm, according to an arrest citation. But after the 9-day-old child was taken to Norton Children's Hospital, a forensic examination revealed that the baby had a broken humerus, a broken right and left radius by the wrist, broken right tibia, and broken right and left femur per the arrest report. Now, how many of you guys out there want to claim some mental illness, some postpartum? How many of y'all want to create an excuse for these two terrible parents? Anybody? The chat is open. I'd be more than happy to let you guys give them as many excuses as you like, but just know we're probably going to look at you a little bit sideways, right? This is a 9-day-old baby with many, many broken bones. The baby also, brought up too many web pages. The baby also had a bruise on the left side of the head, according to the police. The mother told police she had fed her baby, and then Bishop took the newborn to another room for a few hours, according to the arrest citation. So she's trying to point the blame at him. Bishop then brought the child back to the mother, who said she fed the baby again and fell asleep, according to arrest reports. When she woke up later, the mother said that she could not find her baby, but then she and Bishop found the child face down on the floor next to the bed, according to the arrest citation. A pediatric forensic nurse who examined the baby found injuries are diagnostic of inflicted physical abuse and are also severe and shows extreme indifference to human life, according to the arrest report. There's also a reason why I used their Halloween pictures that they put up to show how bloodthirsty, nasty, idiotic these people are. I know y'all looking at those pictures like, why are those pictures up there? Because I think that is what a perfect depiction is of the type of animals that they are. They both are demons. They both are thugs. They both are terrible parents. This shouldn't happen to any child of any age ever, let alone the fact that when you have a newborn baby, you're supposed to take even more care and be even more careful. But check this out. The mother gave a Miranda statement and said, "I can't believe I hurt my baby this bad," according to the police. Now, officers executed a search warrant at the home, and guess what they found? They found what appeared to be cocaine, meth, oxycodone, Adderall, sleeping pills, marijuana, and many forms of paraphernalia, including grinders, rolling papers, digital scales, baggies, of course, for distribution, and pipes, per the arrest citation. Hashtag not my words. That's according to the police. Officers also found a firearm near the drugs, and police believe the items indicated an intent to sell, according to the arrest citation. Now, the father, Bishop, was also charged with numerous drug-related offenses in connection with the incident, according to court records. The couple entered a plea of not guilty during their arraignments on Tuesday, where the judge set their bonds at $150,000 for both of the parents. Now, court records show Bishop and the mother each have their own private attorneys, so apparently they had money for that. With their next court date set for April the 14th, which is next Wednesday. This is a tragedy for all parties involved, according to the mother's attorney, Nick Mudd, told the Carrier Journal in an email. "Ms. Schiff and I look forward to defending any and all allegations in court. So we'll see what happens. Do y'all think this was an accident? Because I don't think so. There's too many drugs around. It's just everything about this story is so wrong." But let me give you guys the fair usage and show you the news videos. Here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And also, I hope you guys like the shirt. I normally don't wear blue, but I like this blue and I like this shirt, and it says babies, lives matter. This is one of our new designs, so hopefully you like this. I definitely like it. I'm gonna be wearing it this weekend. All right, here we go.
A 9-day-old newborn was taken to the hospital with broken arms and broken legs. Now his parents, Brent Bishop and Amanda Yiff, are charged with complicity to criminal abuse. Court records say the mom told police she fed the baby, then Bishop took him into another room for a few hours, then she fed him again and fell asleep. She told officers she woke up and couldn't find the baby, but eventually found him face down on the floor. A pediatric nurse who examined the baby said the injuries are severe and consistent with physical abuse. Police say they found suspected cocaine, meth, and marijuana in the home and believe the drugs were meant for sale.
New tonight, two Louisville parents are behind bars accused of abusing their newborn baby. Amanda Yiff and Brent Bishop are charged with criminal abuse. According to an arrest report, officers were sent to Norton Children's Hospital early Monday morning after the baby was brought in. Police say a forensic nurse discovered the child had at least 5 broken bones, including both legs. Police say they found several drugs during a search of the couple's home on Canterbury Court off the outer loop.
Okay. Here we go. Those are the only 2 news videos I was able to find. So let's make this an educational moment for those who might not be super familiar with the law, and maybe Lee or anybody else in there. If you do know the law a little bit better than me, then you can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay? With this story being out of Louisville, Kentucky, let me explain something to you guys. What this mother is scheduled to do is to try to push all of the drugs and guns and bad parenting on the dad, on Brent Bishop. She's going to try to push this all on him. Number one, so she doesn't get jail time or anything like that and potentially get her kid back, which is what we do not want. Let me explain why we don't want that and why this should not happen in the court system. Let me explain something. Even if the mother did not know about these drugs, even if that were a possibility, that's too many drugs, too much wrongdoing by one person for you to say that you didn't know. There's a propensity of evidence that points to them that says, no, you knew, you had to have known. If you didn't know, then your eyes must not work. All those different drugs, most of them illicit, guns and all of this stuff, and the baby ends up in a heinous condition. For that reason alone, if you are a perfectly healthy mom and you don't do no drugs and you're not into any illicit activities, but you deal with somebody who does, here's where we have to start implementing accountability. If you date thugs, you date death, and I think that you should also suffer the exact same consequences as the person who harms your child. Because guess what? You love this person well enough to not worry about what's going on with your baby. So you just took a blind eye to everything that he was doing. And it put your baby's life in jeopardy. So to me, if you do those type of things and it causes your kid hurt, harm, or danger, then you should be responsible. Now, what is that going to do for this woman and everybody else? If they know there is a high risk, a high fear that you could spend life in prison, 20, 30 years in prison, have $1 million bail, when there are real consequences against you, that pressure will bust those pipes. And I believe that it will spread across the board and make people think 2 times, 3 times, 10 times before they put their children in bad situations, or before you date somebody that's going to put your children in a bad situation, or before you neglect or say, well, I didn't know about no background check. I was to never have thought to do a background check. Well, if you're that damn stupid, then maybe you shouldn't be a parent. Is that not a parent? Am I not making a good case to say that both of them, whatever time he gets, she should get. Whatever time she gets, he should get. Let me also add that you also should not be able to get your kids back. Because guess what? Any extra damage, this kid might be dead. So the fact that this baby is alive is good enough for us to put a prayer hands up in the chat and for us to pray that this baby pulls through. And let me show y'all the baby just in case y'all didn't see him. It's a very small baby, and I hope nobody has no issue with this. That's the baby. And a beautiful little baby at that. This baby was on the brink of death with that much violence inflicted on this baby. And the fact that they had a forensic professional examine this baby and they realized, no, this is physical abuse. They did this to this child. Then this baby only survived by divine intervention. The fact that the man, the big man above, looked out for this baby to protect this baby. So I think it would probably be best that somebody else care for, love, and raise this baby to give that little baby an opportunity to grow up and become great. Because guess what? Mom doesn't want this baby to be great. Neither one of them deserve any reproductive rights. When something like this happens, I don't know why you should even be allowed to just come back, get out of jail, and be able to produce more babies. I don't think that should happen. Hashtag TTO and TTT. For those who don't know, you can type it in the chat and let them know what TTO and TTT means. Because I believe they both should suffer the same fate for what they did to that baby who couldn't speak for himself, could not defend itself against the tyranny of not one, but 2 bad drug dealing, drug using, hair, brain parents. And it's going to stop. And it has to stop. And we have to start putting out stronger laws. That's where we have to start voting in our local elections to make the laws stronger in your counties, in your cities, in your states. At the state level is where it matters. Make sure you know which judges you have in office. Make sure you know all of the people in your local elections, because that's where it counts. We have to put the right people in office to make sure you have a place like how we do in Texas. We have super aggravated child abuse laws to protect our children. Because at the AFC, we believe that babies' lives matter. Hashtag the new BLM. babies' lives matter. I hope that they throw the book at both of them. Look like they just crawled off of a dusty farm or something like that. I don't know. They just look weird. Meth head ass parents. But let me say this. They're a match made in hell. But that is a beautiful little baby. And we'll put a prayer hands up in the chat. And we're going to pray that that baby grows up and becomes something great. So this is a partially positive story, okay? The baby did survive. I'm DJ Just J with the AFC, where we put our children first. All right, guys. Now, let me warn you. These next two stories, we got two stories coming up. Don't leave. We got more to talk about. So if you guys are listening, please click that thumbs up. Our goal tonight is 600 thumbs up. If we can get there, cool. If not, I understand. But all I ask is that you guys look down and click that thumbs up. Help share these streams and let more people know that we are live. This next story is probably going to be a little bit of a highlight story. This is Moms Gone Wild tonight on a Thursday. What's today? Thursday, April 8th. This is Moms Gone Wild. Y'all remember Girls Gone Wild, right? This is Moms Gone Wild. Let me take a drink of this V8. And guess I'm drinking the whole damn thing, right? Because it's just that good. And I'm a pretty big boy. I think I can handle it. Moms Gone Wild. I'm going to tell y'all, you are not going to believe the details of this next story. I think I want to read this from... I'm trying to figure out which link I want to read this from. I'm going to go with this one. Let's go with that one. I'm going to show some love to heavy.com tonight because I think they do a pretty good job. They're not always 100% accurate, but they don't need to be. They usually do pretty good with staying accurate within the details. We usually get a lot of good information from heavy.com. All right, let's see. Where are we at right now? We're at 301, so we're good. We're halfway. Actually, we're more than halfway to our goal. So we're at 302 thumbs up. So we need 298 people to click that thumbs up, 427 people watching. So if y'all would, please click that thumbs up, help share this stream. And let's talk about this woman that you see on my screen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is probably one of the strangest and definitely most heartbreaking stories that we've talked about. Absolutely senseless. And I'm going to tell you guys, we're getting ready to talk about the individual that you see on my screen right there. Old Twizzler face, red hot Cheeto face looking ass. This mom, excuse my language, but I'm just saying she looks a little funny. But you won't feel bad once I tell you what she did to her own children. And I'm going to tell you guys, the details might bother you a little bit. So if you can't handle that, I understand if you need to exit the video. But that's your forewarning. We're going to give you guys some details that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities. That individual, her name, let me get her face back up on the screen. That is Madison McDonald. So guess what? Madison comes out of, I think it's Irving. I don't quite remember. Irving, Texas. So Texas takes another L. I don't know what my state is doing. And I think the next story that I got to talk about also comes out of Texas. We are doing a terrible job representing for the babies when it comes to good parenting. Okay? That woman, her name is Madison McDonald. She is the Texas mother who walked into a police station. Let me see if I can show y'all that. Do y'all want to see the video? I think I got a video of this too. This woman walked in a police station on April the 5th, only a few days ago, and she confessed that she killed her two, not one, but two young daughters. The Irving Police Department said McDonald was arrested and charged with capital murder. Again, let me remind you, Texas has super aggravated child abuse laws. We take a harsh stance against people who hurt children. Yes? Capital murder, you're done. You get convicted of that, you're done. Police spokesman Officer Robert Reeves identified the children as Lillian Mae McDonald, who would have turned 2 years old in May, right before her second birthday, and 6-year-old Archer Hammond. That's Lillian. Now, why they didn't have a picture of baby Archer, who was her other kid, is beyond me. I thought that was a little bit strange. I looked around. I could not find a picture of him. Let me point something out to you before we even get further in the story. I want y'all to notice that there is only one GoFundMe and one child in that picture, but they're 2 dead children. 2 dead children, 1 GoFundMe. Does everybody know what that means? Two baby daddies. Last name Hammond, last name McDonald. So I'm assuming the children have different fathers. But they only put a PayPal up, not a PayPal, but they only put a GoFundMe up for 1 kid. Now again, I want to remind you guys, I don't believe in using GoFundMe to supplement being lazy and cheap as shit for not having life insurance. Life insurance is very cheap. You can get it from gerberlife.com, among many other places, but get life insurance. If you're going to have kids, get life insurance, period. Stop being a lazy ass parent. Now, the mother arrived at the Irving Police Department on April 5th around 10 p.m. Officer Reeves explained during a news conference, which I'll show y'all that also, that no one works at the front desk at nighttime. There's a phone in the lobby that people can use to call for help. Reeves said McDonald's used the phone in the lobby to dial 911 and told the dispatcher that she had killed her 2 daughters. He described her demeanor as very calm as all of this played out. Now, Reeves explained that the officers immediately responded to McDonald's home at the Anthem Apartments located on Cowboys Parkway. After forcing the door open, with the help of the Irving Fire Department, they found the 2 children dead inside the apartment. McDonald claimed she smothered the children, choked their breathing. She smothered the children to death. But police said that the medical examiner's office will give a cause of death officially. Here's point number 2. When they asked what the motive was for the killings, Reeves did not speculate. He told reporters that they are working to determine a motive, but added, there's not going to be a definition or reason that would ever justify the murder of 2 small children. But according to a probable cause affidavit obtained by the news station, the mother suggested to investigators that she felt she was protecting her children by ending their lives. She explained that she sedated them and tucked them into their beds before smothering them. Boy, that is some cold, heartless stuff. McDonald claimed that her daughters were being abused, the outlet reported. The mom said her daughters were being abused. Bookmark that, we'll come back to it. She stressed that she would do anything to protect them, and that included the drastic step of eliminating them. Her words, not mine. She said eliminating her own children. The news has reached out to the Irving Police Department for a copy of the affidavit. And I think I have that. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah. I've got that. So if you guys ever need it, I found it. It is available on Heavy. facebook.com/news/Madison-McDonald, and they leave a link if you want to look that up. But I'm not going to post it in the chat. There's no reason to do that right now. Anyway, let's move on. McDonald lived at the apartment on Cowboys Parkway alone with her 2 daughters. Alone with her 2 daughters. So with me repeating myself, why did I repeat myself? Because the mother said her children were being abused and she was trying to protect them. Protect them from what and from who if you live alone? Does that not sound suspicious? Nobody lived there with you. You can't blame it on some man abusing your kids. But let's move on. The Officer Reeves said that there were no witnesses and clarified that McDonald was the only adult living in the home, right? Dallas County records suggest that McDonald filed for divorce in September of 2020. Reeves revealed during the April 6th news conference that officers had responded to McDonald's home in the past, but he declined to share any details about what those calls may have been about due to privacy protocols. Now, the news reported that Child Protective Services confirmed that the agency has a history with the family, but of course, they don't give no damn details, but they let us know that there is a history of whatever it is, a history, whatever that's supposed to mean. Thank you. You said you're going to send me a picture. I appreciate that. So just to let you guys know, it poses no risk to these children at all to share their pictures after these children are deceased. So why they didn't have a picture of both the kids is beyond me, but I thank you, Ginger, or anybody else who wants to email me the correct picture of Archer, okay? But let's move on. It's unclear how many times police have been to McDonald's home, but Reeves added that the number of domestic violence calls has risen amid the coronavirus pandemic. He stressed that if anyone is aware of a dangerous situation or suspects violence, to be an advocate and call law enforcement, like what we ask people to do already. Now, McDonald was booked into the Irving City County Jail, and she got no bail, 0 bond, and I think that's about right. Reeves said that she would be transferred to Dallas County Jail as the case proceeds. As of this writing, it was not clear whether McDonald had an attorney who could speak on her behalf. Inmate records show that she faces capital murder charges with a special designation because the victims were under the age of 10 years old. Again, that's that special provision, the super aggravated child abuse laws. In Texas, capital murder carries a possible death penalty sentence if the defendant is convicted. Prosecutors may also pursue life in prison without the possibility of parole. But the state does not allow for the death penalty if the defendant is found to have a mental disability or legally incapacitated. But ain't nothing wrong with her. She's just damn stupid. She made a bad choice. Let's talk about the father. Her ex-husband told the news that he's heartbroken by the loss of his daughter, Lillian Mae McDonald. So apparently Archer was not his son. He did not wish to speak on camera, but told the reporter that the entire family was shocked by the murders of the 2 sweet little girls. A family launched a GoFundMe campaign to help cover funeral costs of one of the kids. Not both, but one of them. The page states, if you are friends with Chris and you know that his daughters are the light of his life, Lillian was his youngest daughter that he just adored her daddy. When Chris walked around in the room, you could see the light and the love he had for Lillian. Every interaction, Lillian was smiling, laughing, and playing with her dad. It goes on to explain that Lillian would have turned 2 on May the 15th. So like I say, I'm assuming that the other kid is probably not his. But let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. Let me let you hear the news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Take a pause real quick. Say you found the GoFundMe. Okay, thank you very much. Let me pull up my email so we can show that. So thank you very much, Ginger. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, wow. Oh. Do y'all want to see the picture of Archer? Like I say, they've already passed away. I don't see why it would pose any risk at all of posting their picture. Shouldn't be a problem. Cute little girl. So thank you, Ginger. I appreciate that. Let me pull up this GoFundMe. Yep. Wow. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let me show y'all on the screen. So thank you to Ginger Reed. And this is why we are a community, a family, sharing stuff with each other. I definitely appreciate that. So here it is. Here's the other child's GoFundMe. $15,000. No life insurance. Because if either one of these kids had life insurance, I'm going to assume that they would have used that policy as opposed to opening a crowdfunding campaign. Here's the other picture of Archer. And I think Archer, 6 years old. Beautiful kid, man. That just really sucks. Precious souls, man. Precious souls. Let's go ahead and start.
Alex Rozier has been speaking with the family and joins us live at the police station. Alex, it didn't take long to make an arrest.
Yeah, Chris, that's because Madison McDonald walked into the Irving Police headquarters around this time last night, and police say that she walked into their lobby, used the phone to call 911, and in that call, she confessed to the killing of her two daughters. I want to show you some video right here. Irving Police released this video of Madison at their headquarters. She walked around for 10 minutes before making the 911 call. At that time, Irving PD sent officers to the Anthem Apartments on the 700 block of Cowboys Parkway. They entered her unit, and inside they found her 1-year-old daughter.
I'm going to back this up so y'all can see how casually she did this. And she did this, I think they said, for like, what, 10 minutes? Watch this again. I'll show y'all the full video here in a moment.
Video of Madison at their headquarters. She walked around for 10 minutes before making the 911 call. At that time, Irving PD sent officers to the Anthem Apartments on the 700 block of Cowboys Parkway. They entered her unit, and inside they found her 1-year-old daughter and her 6-year-old daughter dead. This afternoon, we heard from Irving Police.
And we're trying to figure out the why. And in a situation like this, this is obviously a horrific incident where 2 children were murdered. We may not ever know the why, right? Because there's not going to be a definition or a reason that would ever justify the murder of 2 small children. All I can say is, all I can keep encouraging people is, if you know someone is going through a situation, don't choose to not get involved. Choose to be that advocate for that victim and contact your local police department and let them at least come out and assess the situation and figure out if someone's in danger.
And I also want y'all to remember, how much energy does it take to choke your children to death? Because I'm sure, especially with that 6-year-old, that the 6-year-old subconsciously would fight back. But they said the kids were sedated. Man, I don't know. That had to take a lot of hate. That came from an angry place. And to me, because she medicated them kids also, that's premeditated. She should not be able to get off on this at all. She should be done. We got to be done with people like this in our society rather than feeling bad. Oh, I wonder what she was going through. Y'all don't know what she was going through. We're all humans. We all go through something. It don't give us the right to hurt children who can't speak for themselves or defend themselves. Let's move on.
Now, according to Irving police, Madison said she killed the girls by smothering them, though an official cause of death will be determined by the medical examiner. Right now, she's at the Irving City Jail, and tomorrow she will be transferred to the Dallas County Jail. She's facing 2 counts of capital murder. And I will tell you that this afternoon I had the chance to speak with the father of one of the girls, and as you can imagine, he is heartbroken today. He tells me that, understandably, he doesn't want to talk on camera, but he wanted to share that the family is devastated and shocked by the death of 2 sweet little girls. We're live in...
All right, let me show y'all this next video. This is the news conference. If y'all want to watch this news conference video, let me know. It's kind of long. It's about maybe 8 minutes. If you want to see it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll show y'all the shorter videos.
And first is an incomprehensible story. Irving police say a woman walked into their police station and confessed to murdering her 2 young daughters. The children's bodies were found at the Anthem Apartments in Irving on Cowboys Parkway. Kevin Reese is live at the Irving Police Department. Kevin, what do we know so far?
Sum this up aptly. We may never know why this mom did this, and even if she did tell us why, what answer could possibly ever make sense. Here is what we know so far. Her name is Madison McDonald. She is 30 years old and right now arrested and taken into custody here at the city jail here with...
And they have no bond for her. Also, if you guys are listening, please do me a favor, look down for a moment. Please click the thumbs up. What that does is it helps share this story as well as our other stories and lets more people know that we're live. So if y'all would, just take a moment, click the thumbs up. Very easy to do, okay? Thank you.
Without bond. Here's what police told us. That McDonald walked into the police department here in Irving at 10 o'clock last night, right where I'm standing right now. Since no one was in the lobby at the time, she picked up a telephone in that lobby and called 911, confessing to the dispatcher that she had smothered her 2 young daughters, 1-year-old Lillian and 6-year-old Archer. Police arrested her in the lobby, and then officers went to her apartment complex in the 700 block of Cowboys Parkway and found the children just as the mother had said. Why she would do this certainly remains unanswered. Police, meanwhile, imploring all of us to get involved if we ever see any families in trouble.
All I can say is, all I can keep encouraging people is, if you know someone is going through a situation, don't choose to not get involved. Choose to be that advocate for that victim and contact your local police department and let them at least come out and assess the situation and figure out if someone's in danger.
Again, the mom, Madison McDonald, is held right now on 2 counts of capital murder of children under the age of 10. She will eventually be transferred to the Dallas County Jail if that is not already in process right now. Meanwhile, investigators and mental health experts trying to get to the bottom of that question. Why? The answer that we, quite frankly, may never know. Back to you.
Well, a Texas woman is facing 2 capital murder charges after walking into a police station. She called 911 to tell police she had killed her 2 young daughters.
It's unimaginable. Meredith Yeomans has more.
This is the front lobby of the Irving Police Department, and that is 30-year-old Madison McDonald walking in around 10 last night after police say she killed her 2 daughters.
And I want y'all to remember that for you to find the police department, walk in like that, all calm, cool, and collected, that also shows that she just did not give a crap at all. And you had to look that information up. You had to Google search that address. You had to drive down there, then walk in there, and then wait for somebody to get with you. She just didn't give a crap. Now, how many of y'all wanted to actually see the news video? You say you wanted the shorter version, or do you want the full version? Because I can show the full version too. And also, don't forget that this is National Child Abuse and Autism Awareness Month. This is National Child Abuse and Autism Awareness Month. I see her just walking around. And keep in mind, that was 10 minutes.
Can you give me 30 seconds?
Yes.
All right, you said show the full version? Okay, he's going to explain. Here we go. Let me speed this up a little bit.
PM for the Irving. Okay. Officer Robert Reeves, I'm the Public Information Officer for the Irving Police Department. Here to brief everybody about the arrest of capital murder for the capital murder of 2 children, which is Madison McDonald. Last night on April 5th at approximately 10 p.m., Madison McDonald walked into our Criminal Justice Center here at the Irving Police Department's headquarters, used our lobby telephone to dial 911, and told the dispatchers that she had killed her 2 children. She believes she did that by smothering them. The exact determination of how they died will have to be decided by the medical examiner's office, but that is what she believed is how she killed the 2 daughters. Irving officers responded to the lobby here, contacted her, sent officers to the 700 block of Cowboys Parkway at the Anthem Apartments. There they were able to find her apartment, and they got inside the apartment and located the 2 children, 1-year-old Lillian Mae McDonald and 6-year-old Archer Hammond, both deceased inside the apartment. Madison McDonald is charged with the 2 counts of capital murder for a person under the age of 10 years old. She is still currently here at the Irving City Jail with no bond and will be getting transferred to the Dallas County Jail either today or tomorrow.
Do you have a motive for this?
Right now, that is part of the investigation, and we're trying to figure out the why. And in a situation like this, this is obviously a horrific incident where 2 children were murdered. We may not ever know the why, right? Because there's not going to be a definition or a reason that would ever justify the murder of 2 small children.
Did she say anything about why she did it?
So what she commented on and what she has spoken to the investigators about is part of that investigation that's not going to be released at this time. What she did tell on the 911 operator was that she did smother her children. Like we said, that final determination on how they died will have to be determined by the medical examiner's office, but that is how she described it.
What was her demeanor inside the lobby?
She was very calm.
Was anyone else at home, or did anyone hear anything?
So no one else was at home. As far as any witnesses that might have heard anything, I haven't read any of that in any of the reports. We do know that she was living at that apartment with just the 2 children and herself.
Any previous contact with police, this woman?
So we have been out to the location before. Due to the nature of the previous calls and the privacy that's required by those, I'm not able to go into details on what those calls specifically were on or the results of those calls.
Has anything like this ever happened here?
And I want y'all to think about this. The mother also had an option that because I'm assuming that these kids have different dads. I'm not even sure at this point, but I'm going to assume that the children have different dads. But she could have just gave up custody of the kids if she didn't want them. She could have just gave up custody. And instead of giving up custody and letting somebody else have the kids, this is what she decided to do. Absolutely selfish and unforgivable.
So we have had obviously children unfortunately killed before. That happens. We saw a previous incident here in the Metroplex, North Texas area yesterday where murders were occurring. So with the pandemic coming to an end and what we saw during the pandemic of COVID-19 was that domestic violence and cases at home were going on the rise, right? So all I can say is, all I can keep encouraging people is, if you know someone is going through a situation, don't choose to not get involved. Choose to be that advocate for that victim and contact your local police department and let them at least come out and assess the situation and figure out if someone's in danger.
Are your officers who arrived at the scene getting counseling?
So our officers will speak to our crisis incident or peer support individuals. Anytime you go out on a scene like this and you witness 2 young children that are deceased, that obviously is a call that stays with you. And so we will make sure that those officers have the opportunity to speak to someone if they need to.
I know this may seem like a small fact, but were the children in the same rooms? Were they in different rooms?
Those specifics aren't being released at this time.
Did the woman stay on the line till the officers arrived?
I believe so, but I don't know that specifics. I know obviously, being here at the police station, the response time from when she's calling up to 911 and when the officers are arriving on scene, the officer that came to this location was the one responsible for this area, so it was a very short response.
There was no one in the lobby. There's a phone in the lobby, obviously.
Correct. At 10 o'clock at night, there wasn't. The officer that's usually here during the daytime hours at the front desk was no longer at that post. At 10 p.m., there's a phone here that the public's allowed to use if they need to make a call for service, and she used that phone to contact our dispatch. Okay. If we have any other updates, we'll be posting that on our social media outlets at Police, Irving PD. You can follow us at those locations.
I know you haven't said whether or not you made contact with her previously, but...
We did make contact with her previously.
Okay.
The details for those types of calls I'm just not able to release.
Does she have a criminal record at all?
That is part of those details, and her actual criminal record, I would not know that off the top of my head. I don't have her criminal history.
What was the name of the complex again, sir?
The Anthem Apartments there in the 700 block of Cowboys Parkway.
Did they have to force entry?
Yes.
The officers had to?
Yes. They used, with the assistance of Irving Fire, they were able to gain entry into the apartment.
Can we get a shot of the phone that they used to use? We go in one of
I don't have a problem.
Is everybody's cameras off?
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty much all of it right there. Let me go ahead and give you guys my closing thoughts. Again, I think, hold on, I didn't start it. But again, my closing thoughts about this is, like I said, I feel like the mother was selfish. Instead of giving up custody, she decided to keep these kids, and she murdered these kids for her own selfish reasons. And for that, like I said, it's inexcusable. It should never be forgiven, and she should suffer the ultimate penalty under law. Because guess what? In America, we're all equal, right? Men and women, we're all equal. Yes? So therefore, as well as you're willing to accept the benefits that come with being equal, you should also accept the responsibility when it comes to dealing with the consequences as well. And that's where it gets really skewed in our society, that we want to give people the good stuff, but they want to avoid the criticism. They want to avoid the penalties and avoid the consequences. And that's just not right. Either we're going to be equal all the way or we're just not. All right. So let me go ahead and get this woman back up on the screen. Hot Cheeto face, hot tamale hair looking ass, terrible mother. And like I said, man, I hope they give her life in prison. So those kids, those fathers or father, whichever one it is, deserved an opportunity to raise those kids, be a part of those children's lives. And it really is a horrible thing that we don't give fathers as much credit in this country as I feel like we should. There's a lot of good men out there. It doesn't mean all, just like it's not all good mothers. It's a good amount of people out there, but you're going to have your bad apples as well as your, regardless of whether it's a mother or a father, there are going to always be some bad apples in there. But I definitely think that we should start showing fathers some more love. Let's put some respect and prayer hands out there for the fathers who lost their children for absolutely no reason. Like I said, what this woman did should suffer the ultimate penalty under law, and thank goodness for Texas strong child abuse laws. Okay, thank you guys so much for listening to the story. I'm DJ Just J, and if you look at the shirt, we believe that babies' lives matter, and they're going to matter to us, and we want the rest of the world to take notice. Okay, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe to our channel. Okay, thank you. I do have one more story for you guys, if you do not mind. And I want to give a shout out to the people who are in the chat right now. And I'm glad that you guys are keeping it about the topic. So like I say, man, continue. If you guys have thoughts or opinions, I want all of us to be able to talk together. Please remember that our chat is like a family. We're all family together, okay? We're not going to always see each other eye to eye on everything, but we're still like a family, and I always want us to show love, give a little respect, get a little respect, all of that wonderful stuff. But shout out to everybody in the chat. If y'all would, please continue to click that thumbs up. I want to talk about a thug mama. Can I talk about a thug mom? Is that okay with y'all, thug mama? Let's talk about a thug mom, which is that story. I'm glad I got this all lined up, ready to go. Hopefully don't no ads pop up. That would be awesome. All right, I think we are good to go. Let me take a look here. I need to thank a couple of people. We're going to take a brief pause, real quick. Pause for the cause. Let me say thank you to Rachel V as in voice. Rachel V over in the Venmo. So if you're listening, I did get yours and you said, crap. Let me see if I can see your whole message. Show some love. Send $10 by way of the Venmo. So if you're listening, Rachel, thank you very much. Let me also say thank you to Donna B. B as in boy. Donna B, who took on the $10 challenge with the blue hearts. And I like that. So thank you very much. Let me also say, let me make sure I can say your name. Wow. Said, I may not have a lot, Jay, but what I give is to help save just one at a time. I wish it was more, but I give from the heart. Never give up on our babies. They need us now more than ever. Thank you, Jay. Sherry K. Sherry K, if you're in the chat, let me know. Let me say this. Even if all you give is just a thumbs up or a nice comment in the chat, or if you just share it on your social media, email it to somebody, tell a friend, you tell that to somebody, and they come watch the channel. No matter what you do to help grow our family, grow our channel, grow the AFC community, whether you show some love by way of monetary means, what you sent is plenty. Anything 4 quarters and above, any share, any thumbs up, I promise you, it goes a long way. And I thank you so very much. And like I say, you know, don't ever put yourselves in a bind. If you guys, let's just say, I know we are just really trying to get back on our feet in 2021. I always ask you guys, if you can contribute in a larger fashion, do so. If you're not able to do so, put it off for a while until you get yourselves on your feet. I never want y'all to do anything to put yourself in a difficult position, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. I just want to say thank you. Let me also say thank you to, thank you for speaking for the children, Letha G. If you're out there listening, thank you very much for your Cash App. Let me also say thank you to Chase with an R, who sent in a Cash App just now. So if you're listening, thank you very much. Let me read this message. Said, Jay, I cannot tell you enough how grateful I am for all that you do, bringing awareness to these babies that deserve so much better. This is a we thing, not a me thing. This is a we thing. Us together. This is not a me thing. This is a we thing. Background checks, life insurance, hashtag defund thugs. Y'all know who she is. She is in the chat right there. That is Leanne Engel. Y'all please show some love. Put a heart emoji in the chat. Put an AFC in the chat. Put a prayer hands up in the chat. Make sure and just show some love to my friend and yours, Leanne Engel. Thank you so much, not only for the message, but for you donating from the heart. It is absolutely an honor. So thank you very much. Mookie Lolo said, this is a race to get 500 likes. Come on, let's help Jay out. Hashtag, if y'all believe babies' lives matter, please hit that thumbs up. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Let's go ahead and talk about this next story. We're at 410 thumbs up, so we only need 90 more people. Ladies and gentlemen, with this story right here, if Freddy Krueger had a baby, I'm sure his daughter would look just like the individual that y'all see on my screen, because she is definitely hell's spawn. Yes. That individual is accused of doing something that only a demon would do. So let me explain this story to you guys, and let me warn you, it's not going to sit well with your sensibilities, because I'm going to have some choice words, not only for her and what she did, but when y'all hear the details about what she did to this baby, I want y'all to remember, this is just like First 48. We are true crime TV. That's exactly what we do. Just as well as people support First 48 and stuff like that, I want you guys to hear about these stories, because we believe that babies' lives matter. Let's talk about Satan's daughter with these jacked up, big old teeth in her mouth right there. Look like somebody took like a deck of cards and just put them in her mouth. The authorities near Houston, Texas, so Texas takes yet another L. Matter of fact, Houston takes another L. Texas is not going to be held accountable for Houston creating this many losses. This woman right here, they were searching for her at the time. I believe they've already caught her. And she is accused of stuffing her dead infant daughter's body into a duffel bag filled with ice, and then she stashed it inside of a motel room. I feel the need to repeat that. This woman, they were looking for her, but I think they found her, if I'm not mistaken. She's accused of stuffing her dead infant baby's body into a duffel bag that was filled with ice, and she stashed it in a motel room. They're saying the mother also admitted that she was dealing drugs as well. She is the definition of a thug, because I want y'all to remember that thug does not relate to a skin color. The word thug, T-H-U-G, relates to an action. Her actions are of a thug, a bad parent, and somebody who deserves life in prison. According to court documents, hashtag not my words, according to court documents, Nikki Ann Reardon, who is 32 years old, of Baytown, Texas, is accused of endangering a child and tampering with or fabricating evidence in the death of Zadia D. Rainier, R-A-I-N-E-R. The infant baby was slightly less than 2 months old, to the point where I couldn't even barely found a picture. Just these pictures right here. The first count, endangering a child, relates to Reardon's alleged possession and consumption of methamphetamine in close proximity to a baby, thus placing the infant in immediate danger of physical impairment and death. The second count, while she's sitting there smiling, and those are her mug shots. And no, those pictures are not edited. Her teeth are really that yellow. Look like she's been chewing on a bag of nacho cheese Dorito chips all day. Teeth are quite yellow. Anyway, the second count on tampering with or fabricating evidence relates to her alleged concealment of the baby's body with intent to impair its ability as evidence. The charges are dated for March 23rd of 2021, but are currently as inactive in a court record, perhaps because Reardon is nowhere to be found. But like I said, I think they found her. According to charging documents on file in Harris County, which is close to Houston, the case unfolded when a caller saw something and said something and called police that a dead baby was inside a hotel room. So somebody saw something and said something. We're going to get those t-shirts made that says hashtag see something, say something. The caller said that the baby was 2 months old and had been dead for 48 hours or maybe even longer, that Reardon had told the caller that the baby's body had swelled up. The caller described Reardon's physical characteristics and age. When police arrived, an officer found the hotel door open. Reardon was inside. Children's clothing and toys were also present. Officers asked Reardon about the child, and she ignored them. She walked to the other side of the room and grabbed a weapon which appeared to be a large rifle and began crying loudly and saying it was an accident. Reardon also yelled that she had suffered a seizure, woke up and realized that the baby was cold. We've heard that before. We've heard that BS excuse. But anyway, Reardon then hid behind a wall, the court records indicate. Officers obtained a search warrant for the room while the SWAT team removed Reardon. A subsequent search uncovered a large pink duffel bag hidden inside of a built-in cabinet case. When the detective opened the case, he observed a large plastic bag on the inside, and I told y'all these details are going to be hard to hear, but nothing is more difficult than what these babies actually had to go through. The bag was also observed, and it was tied in a knot. When the detective untied the knot, he saw the dead infant's body covered with ice inside of a plastic bag. Only in Texas, man. Only in Texas. The search also uncovered suspected crystal methamphetamine and suspected marijuana, according to court records. Now, vital records indicated that Reardon gave birth on August 2nd of 2020. The little girl's father said he communicated with her using FaceTime regularly, but that on or about Sunday, September 27th, Reardon refused to allow him to see his daughter by way of video chat. Now, don't y'all think that's a bit odd how these women will bring any random boyfriend, any new boyfriend, any dude that they just want to have casual sex with? Any man stands a better chance of being around the father's kid than the biological father being around his own child. Then you would also have to ask, why is she getting pregnant? Why ain't she got a place to live and living in a hotel? There's absolutely no excuse for any of this, especially when our laws and our what do you call it? The system that makes it to where these mothers are allowed to be able to get food stamps, Section 8, daycare, birth control, all of these different things that will help mothers in need. TANF. I'm sure I'm probably missing some things. You could also give your children up to safe havens if you can't take care of them. And they won't even ask you any questions. You could just literally drop them off. She could have probably dropped the kid off with the dad. It's just so much about this that just was absolutely unnecessary. After waiving her rights, the mother told the police that she was packing her belongings at about 8 a.m. on Sunday, September 27th, while the baby was laying on top of the bed. The next thing, Reardon told police she remembered waking up at about 4:15 p.m. The baby was dead, she said. Its body was lying face down next to her. Reardon told police it was too late to call for medical assistance because the infant was not breathing. Again, she's a dummy, and she's laughing. As a matter of fact, while I'm telling this story, y'all do me a favor and look. Let's go back. Y'all look at her face. That's the face that I want y'all to remember while I'm reading this story. What are they going to do? She questioned. Reardon says she held the dead baby's body for about 48 hours until the body began to smell and it had bubbles coming from its nose. Keep in mind of that face. That's when the mother says she started to ice the body. according to records. Another individual, only known as Jay, bought a shovel to help Reardon bury the baby's body. So that person should probably get arrested too, don't y'all think? The fact that you bought a shovel, you were about to commit a crime. Look, maybe you can't convict somebody on crimes they were about to commit, but I don't know. They at least need to be punched in the mouth and lose a couple of teeth for that at least. Damn. So the mother argued with this person named Jay, and Jay threatened to call the police. The mother admitted that she was selling meth and cocaine as a means of income, which is how she was funding her way to live in that hotel, nasty ass hotel room, the Roach Motel. The infant's father said Reardon had been living in and out of a motel since giving birth. Court documents also say that her records contain previous controlled substance convictions dating all the way back to July and September of 2006. She failed to appear in court earlier this month. This is someone who is facing very serious charges on many of the charges she has against her, according to Assistant DA James Gordon, referencing the mother. She is facing up to life in prison. The television station reports that the mother did not show up to a court appearance in a separate aggravated robbery case and has been on the run ever since. She's also alleged to have violated probation. So how did they let Big Gums, Big Teeth, how did they allow her to keep this baby and take this baby from the hospital with her having such a large criminal history since 2006? And they let her leave the hospital with the baby? Wow. Gordon, the prosecutor, told the news that he wants Reardon picked up as quickly and safely as possible for the safety. I thought that she was already arrested. I am so confused by this. I thought they said she was arrested. But anyway, Harris County Jail records reviewed indicate that Reardon was released on bond in January. Why would they let Donkey Teeth This is not funny. Why would you ever give somebody bail who has teeth this damn big? Seriously. Why would they give Donkey Teeth bail in January, knowing what she was facing? Of course she's gonna run. Of course she's a flight risk. Why would you think she's not? Let me give y'all the fair usage. My Lord, man. I'm trying not to be too funny with this.
It was 6 months ago that a tip led investigators to a motel room in Baytown.
Let me give y'all the fair usage. Let's get it.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Yeah, good morning, Samika. You know, when police found that little girl, the 2-month-old baby, inside the duffel bag, Nikki Reardon, the mother, told police that she had no recollection of what had happened in the 8 hours before that. Reardon said she woke up and next to her, her daughter was face down on the bed, not breathing. Reardon said that she didn't call for an ambulance because, quote, it was too late. She wasn't breathing. What were they going to do? The baby was found, take a look, in this Baytown motel about 6 months ago. Crime Stoppers got the tip the 32-year-old mother was there. The 2-month-old child was found in a plastic bag with ice inside that pink duffel bag. Investigators believe she had been dead for at least 48 hours. Also in the room, meth and marijuana, police say. Reardon allegedly told officers she sold drugs. She's been charged with endangering a child and tampering with evidence, a human corpse. But Reardon has not been charged directly with her daughter's death. Now, of course, those charges could change. We will let you know what happens in court today. For now, reporting live downtown, Courtney Fisher, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Somebody in the chat said some people just shouldn't smile. She needs a butter knife for those teeth. That is a harsh comment, but it's true and it's funny. I'm sorry, but I caught that comment. I'm sorry. That was just funny to me. Let's move
Scene
on.
no law enforcement officer wants to respond to. A tip to Crime Stoppers about a dead baby led Baytown police here to Scottish Inn Suites in September 2020. When they got there, they found Nikki Reardon in just a sports bra and shorts and children's clothing and toys in the room. They kept asking about a child, but Reardon reportedly ignored the question. Once they got a search warrant, officers went back in and found an infant girl stuffed in a pink duffel bag surrounded by ice. According to the caller, the child had been dead at least 48 hours. Now her mother is on the run.
This is someone who is facing very serious charges on many.
Do y'all see all of those mug shots? Where's her family members at? Thank you. Look at this. This is a scrolling video of all of her mug shots. And they allowed this person who's had mug shots since 2006 to walk out of a hospital with a baby, and she got bail in January. Look at this. Look at all these mug shots.
Now her mother is on the run.
This is someone who is facing very serious charges on many.
Now her mother is on the run.
This is someone who is facing very serious charges on many of the charges she has against her. She is facing up to life in prison.
According to court records, Reardon told officers she was selling meth and cocaine to make a living, and the day the baby died, she was packing some stuff in her motel at 8 a.m. and woke up at 4:15 p.m. and found the baby face down on the bed, dead. Earlier this month, Reardon didn't show up to a court appearance for an aggravated robbery charge and hasn't been seen since.
And do y'all notice how many of her mug shots she's smiling in? Look like she just doesn't give a crap.
Now, on top of several other charges and violating probation, she's facing tampering with evidence, primarily a corpse, and child endangerment. Officials aren't releasing cause of the baby's death, but we know enough. This is a complete tragedy that prosecutors want Reardon held accountable for.
This is someone we obviously, for the safety of everybody in the community of Harris County, Texas, and really the surrounding areas, given the extent of her criminal history, we do want to make sure that she is being picked up as quickly and as safely as possible.
I know that was hard to hear. Trust me, that was a hard story for me to tell. And Reardon, she's only 32, but she has criminal run-ins dating back 15 years from here in Harris County all the way over to Louisiana. So please, if you see her, if you think you've seen her, speak up and call police. They need to find her now. Coming up tonight at 6:30, I'll dive a little bit more into Reardon's troubled run-in with the law. We're live downtown. Erica Simon, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Just an unbelievable crime. Thank you, Erica.
Been following since our 4 o'clock newscast. A child found dead inside a motel room in Baytown.
Officers got a Crime Stoppers tip about that dead infant, but when they arrived, it turned into a SWAT scene. Channel 2's Michael.
Thank you for saying that in the chat, and I'm glad that's why the live chat is open. Y'all see what people are typing in there. Somebody said, for 15 years, she's been into criminal activities. Knowing that Texas has strong child abuse laws on the books already, how was she able to leave the hospital with a baby, with a child, when they all should have known her record? Everybody should have known her record, and they let her leave with the baby, and she didn't even have no place to take this kid. I'm sorry, I don't consider you to have a place to live if you live in a hotel. That's not the same as an apartment. That's not the same as renting or having a home. Not the same thing.
Party live at the Scottish Inn and Suites on Garth Road. Michael, the SWAT scene has ended, but this investigation is far from over.
Dominique, things have quieted down here in the last hour or so. Police were mainly focusing their attention towards the end of this building that's just behind me here, but it looks like the tape is now down. But still, a lot for investigators to piece together and figure out. This all started with that anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers saying that there was possibly a dead infant in one of the rooms here. When officers got here, they found a woman armed with some sort of a long gun. She wouldn't come out, so it turned into a SWAT situation. We're told the negotiations lasted for several hours. Eventually, the SWAT team went into the room and took that woman into custody. Police say they did indeed find a dead infant in the room, but don't know the cause of death yet.
You know, it's an infant. It could be something as simple as a SIDS type death and the mother just panicked, or it could be something more nefarious. And those are the things that we'll have to try to uncover throughout the course of our investigation.
And officers believe that the child did belong to the woman, but they were still working to confirm that at last check. She was taken to the hospital, and we're told no one else was hurt after SWAT went into that room. Reporting live in Baytown, Michael Lepardi, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
And now to a development.
Police arrested a Baytown mother who's been on the run after her baby was found dead inside of a bag and covered in ice. Nikki Reardon is due in court this morning on charges of child endangerment and tampering with a corpse. Police say they found her 2-month-old daughter's body at a motel in September. Detectives are still trying to determine what led up to the baby's death.
A Houston area woman is wanted by authorities, charged with crimes related to her baby's death. Baytown police say she hid her daughter's body for days at a motel room. Here's Matt Doherty.
The mom was charged with those latest crimes earlier this week, but she wasn't there to face the judge. Court records show that she still has not been arrested. Last September, we showed you this SWAT standoff in Baytown. Police claimed a Crime Stoppers tipster reported there was a dead baby inside a motel room at the Scottish Inn and Suites. When police showed up, they say they found Nikki Reardon. These are pictures posted to Reardon's public Facebook page dated weeks before the incident at the motel. Police say Reardon grabbed a rifle and yelled it was an accident. The mom said she had a seizure, and when the baby woke up, the baby was cold. Police say after they finally took Reardon into custody, they searched the room. Inside of a cabinet, they found a pink duffel bag. They unzipped it and discovered a plastic bag with ice. Inside, they found 2-month-old baby Zidea. She'd been dead for days. Police say the mother had been selling cocaine and meth from the motel room. After an autopsy, the medical examiner's office concluded the infant's...
Is that her mother? Where were their grandparents at? They just, man, it seemed like everybody just let this happen.
Death was undetermined. Reardon is charged with tampering with a corpse and child endangerment. If you know where she is, you're asked to call authorities. From Houston, I'm Matt Doherty, KHU 11 News.
Let me go ahead and give you guys my closing thoughts. I think that they've caught her. I'm not exactly sure because I read a couple of things that were a little bit conflicting, but I hope that she's been caught. There is absolutely no reason for her to ever even be given a bail. She should have no bail, zero bail, no OR, no nothing, no own recognizance, nothing. No bail bondsman. There's no reason for her to be out or have access to the streets at all. She needs to pay for what she did, and for 16 plus years, maybe even probably her entire life, this woman is nothing. And the reason I say that she's nothing, she don't want to grow up and become something great. She wants to just be a meth head, a redhead, Cheeto head, big teeth, I can't believe it's not butter, teeth having ass, living in hotel rooms with shotguns and doing meth and coke and all this other stuff. She don't want to be nothing. Why have her in our society? This gave us a reason to get rid of her. We should get rid of her. She should suffer the fullest penalty under law for what she did to that baby. That baby did not stand a chance. And it should have been a huge red. Matter of fact, everything with the father dealing with this woman should have been yellow and red flags, like her teeth, yellow flag, yellow teeth. Yellow and red flags should have been popping up all over to let you know you shouldn't have been sleeping with this woman, bruh. When are we going to start holding the men accountable for them placing their seed in soil that's not worthy? Huh? Where my ladies at out there? We believe over here at the AFC are being responsible, but we know there are a lot of people in our communities, in our families, that are not living the right way. And we have to start holding people accountable. She already wasn't nothing her entire life, and some man blessed her with a seed that she didn't deserve. Then he was like, well, why won't you let me see my baby? Oh, that's right. Because she ain't shit, yes. Because she's selling drugs out of a hotel room to support her habit and to pay for her hotel stays every day, yes. Huh? The fact that she got all these drugs and guns around a newborn baby, maybe that might be a reason why she didn't let you see your kid, because she was never a good mother. You should have never have been sleeping with her. You sleep with losers and you lose. This woman has been a loser her entire life. The fact that she had, look, I want y'all to understand this. This woman had so many mugshots that they had to slowly scroll them across the screen just so you could see some of her mugshots. That is insane. Texas apparently has let this woman slip through the loopholes. We got to get rid of her this time. We got to step our game up in Texas. We got to continue to do better. We got to rise together. We got to hold criminals accountable. What was that baby supposed to do? This baby who was, let me make sure, less than 2 months old, not even 8 weeks old, Zadia D. Rainier, to that baby, R.I.P. R.I.P. That baby did not stand a chance with this crackhead looking meth head. I guess you could be a crackhead and a meth head together. But nonetheless, so many lessons to be learned here. Big L's for Texas. I hope they give her the fullest, the harshest penalty under law. I thank you guys so much for listening with an open mind and an open heart. I'm DJ Just Jay with the AFC, and if you read the t-shirt, this t-shirt says, Babies' Lives Matter. Hashtag the new BLM. From my heart to yours, I love all of you guys. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys on the next stream. And hopefully, we'll see her get a lifetime in prison, okay? Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude us. I want to say thank you to all of you guys who are out there. We do appreciate everybody. As a matter of fact, shout out Chorus 15. I see you in there sharing the links. Says support the show, donate to our message, which we are the advocates for children. I want you guys to remember, this is not a me thing. This is a we thing, and literally to the letter of the definition. Let me pull it up real quick so you guys will know if you have any questions. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Advocate. The definition of an advocate is a person who works and argues in support of another's cause, especially in court. A person or group that defends or maintains a cause or proposal, a consumer advocate. Everybody catch that? What we do is an advocacy. We have helped save people's lives. We're helping people change the way that they parent. We're making people think. We're asking for people, if they see something, to say something. We are making a difference. And like I say that as in we. We're doing this together. We've actually even got real criminals arrested on the show. Do y'all remember Takesha Williams out of Stockton, California, who we believe murdered Billy Simone Williams? Y'all remember that case? Yes, that was us. That was us. That was our show. that made the news in California. Our show was featured on the news, and I'm very, very happy about that, very proud about that, and I don't take it lightly. I do not take this job lightly at all. So I thank all of you guys, and I hope y'all have a blessed day, have a blessed night, enjoy your day. Some of y'all know what I got going on this weekend. If you don't know, then follow the community tab, but I know our channel members already know what I'm going to be into this weekend. So y'all keep me in prayer. Hopefully I will have some video footage for you guys, some good video footage. Let me say that. I've asked a couple of friends that I know to come out so we can get some real video footage. So I'll let y'all know what to do, okay? Thank you guys so much. Show some love to our sponsors.
Nora's Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.noras915.com. www.noras915.com. That's right, www.noras915.com.
Hello listeners, come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-size masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.
Hopefully you guys were able to hear that. That was Keyline Designs. Let me make sure we run that one more time.
Eat what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-size masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.